it's not rocket science to maintain a pool, okay? So if one person doesn't come, you have a second person to maintain the pool. And you have to keep in mind that all these pools that we have designed with the foreign filtration systems are designed to be run by homeowners. And we give a chart in the filter plant room that shows exactly what valve to turn. Our very keen customers, they learn the pool filtration, what valve to close, what to open. And if you do it 3, 4, 5 times, you've learned it for the rest of your life. Okay. Now, if you can't, then we say, look, we offer you service. Now in Hyderabad, not in Vizag yet, we have people who are there to maintain your pool for you, either on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Yeah, all right. So there are mainly the 2 aspects to maintaining a pool. One is the suspended impurities, which is dirt, leaves, skin. Okay, how do we remove that? Because the clarity of the water depends on how we clean the suspended impurities in the pool. Okay, so we have a filter for that. So we have to keep the water free of harmful bacteria. This is to keep the biologically clean, which means either ozone and ozone plus chlorine. Now there are many ways of keeping the pool clean. Okay, in terms of bacteria, which can be ozone, bromine, chlorine, UV. Ultraviolet is the other way of disinfecting the pool. Okay, which is what you have in your AquaGuard machine, the UV. Okay, all right. So that destroys the bacteria. Okay, you cannot kill viruses. You can only you can put them to sleep. Like when you have a common cold, you can't kill a common cold, correct? You just have to get your resistance up higher and the cold kind of slowly disappears. So you can't destroy, you can only deactivate viruses, okay? So bacteria can be destroyed. Yeah? And not all the bacteria are known, only the ones that are known can be possibly destroyed. Some are good bacteria in our body, right? And that we need for our body, okay? So to make sure that when you drink the water from the swimming pool and your body being like a sponge, it soaks in water too. And we don't want to get sick, okay? So these are the 2 methods of keeping the pool clean. One is the biological method and the other one is to clear the suspended impurities in the pool, okay? How soon the water is turned around in the filter, okay? For children's pool, where they do all kinds of garbage in the pool, we make a turnaround of 1 hour. The whole water is turned on 1 hour, 2 hours. Home pools, 4 hours. Olympic-sized pools, commercial pools, large pools, 2 hours. We haven't done any 2-hour pools so far. Yeah, because money dictates, you understand, right? But in Arab countries, European countries, American countries, large Olympic-sized pools, turnover time 2 hours. They have less dirt loading, yeah, more hygiene, yet they turn it around in 2 hours. What happens is the filter sizes become small, correct? Right? So your price of the pool becomes lower, correct? So that is not acceptable by us. When we did 6 hours, they were doing 8 and 10 hours. When you brought it to 4 hours, now they come to 6 and 8 hours. All right? And if you come to my home, we have this is what we're getting into in future development is the timer. 7 o'clock in the morning, the filter comes on by itself. At 2 o'clock, it shuts off. Now, let's assume there's no power in the home at 7 o'clock. It's got a real-time clock inside it. It'll start at 8 when the power comes back on. All right? And it'll shut off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, this is something that we are getting. Now, we're doing sand filters, okay? All our filters are sand filters. Is that the customers don't come back because it takes, when we water, the dirt that goes into the sand filter gets backwashed and all the dirt gets out and gets thrown away into the wastewater drain, okay? A year or 2 years later down the line, the filter gets choked. So then we go and wash the sand, or we give them a new bunch of sand. So we don't see them for 2 years sometimes. So my next strategy that I have thought about is that we shift from sand filters to cartridge filters. What happens with cartridge filters? The cartridge gets dirty. It gets hosed down, clean, and put back into the filter again. All right? You understand where I'm coming from? But they come back to us. And that time I can go sell them a heating system, an ozone system, or something new that I've added onto the, yeah? So we shift, and the clarity of the water is better. The micronic level of a cartridge filter is better than that of a sand filter. If your sand filter is giving you 20 micron level clarity, okay, the cartridge filter is giving you 2 micron. So it's definitely much, the water clarity is much greater. In the West, if they're using sand filters or cartridge filters, guess how long they keep their filters on for? 24 hours. Electricity cost in terms of the income is not very high. The filter can get choked as early as 6 months if there is hardness in the water. You understand? With water is hard and there's calcium deposits in the water, then your filter will get choked much faster. And it might not get choked for 2 years also. All the backwashing you do with the filter will not take away the hardness, the lumpiness in the filter, because the calcium deposits have settled into the filter. Cartridge filters, on the other hand, can be changed, I would say, every 3 to 6 months. Some of the few things to check with the client, one is how is the soil? Is the soil black cotton soil? Is the sand clayey? Is the sand sandy? It makes a difference in the structural design and the cost. The second thing is, how is your water source? Is your source of water bore wells? Is it from the municipal corporation? All right? Or is it by tankers? Now what happens if it's from the corporation, then we know it's pretty good. If it is your bore well and it's got hardness, we can give it a permanent softening system. But if you're buying water by tankers and the guy that's supplying the water by the tanker, he uses different bore wells. So each time he's getting the water, it's fluctuating. So we do an approximation of what softening levels we should reach. Are you understanding? Because each bore well where the tanker brings the water from, it has different hardness.